Hello guys, welcome back to a brand new video. In this video we have another election prediction to do, and this election prediction will be for Donald Trump, the incumbent president, versus Elizabeth Warren, the Democratic challenger. She has been doing better in the polls recently, but then she took a dip in the polls, and now she is sitting in third place in the Democratic primary polls, below Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden, with Joe Biden as the front runner. But we are going to do an election prediction with Elizabeth Warren being the Democratic nominee, if she is to be the Democratic nominee. And so we're going to do the election prediction based off of that. As you can probably tell, my voice is a bit bad. I'm a little bit sick, but we're going to do this video anyway. So we'll start off, as always, by filling off the safe states for the president. Going to do these three Nebraska districts. Going to do all of this. Indiana, South Carolina, and Alaska. 125 safe electoral votes for Donald Trump, the incumbent president. Then Elizabeth Warren will get these states as safe electoral votes. So that would put Elizabeth Warren at 172 safe electoral votes. 176 electoral votes, safe electoral votes, to Donald Trump's 125 safe electoral votes. So now let's start off by filling off the likely, lean, and tilt states for either candidate. So I think that Oregon, for many of the other candidates, I've put it as a safe state, but I'm going to put it as likely for Elizabeth Warren. I just don't think with a candidate like her, they would win it by as large a margin. I think that Nevada would go lean still. Elizabeth Warren is a similar character and similar style of talking to Hillary Clinton, and many people thought Hillary Clinton wouldn't do as well in Nevada, but she did win Nevada, and I think that Elizabeth Warren would win it by a lean margin. This could possibly be a tilt margin as well, but I think for now I'll put it as a lean margin. Now for Arizona, I'm going to put it as a tilt margin. This is going to be one of the closest states for this election. I think that obviously it has a Senate race that I keep commenting about, but I think that if Elizabeth Warren were the nominee, it would go to the president by maybe a 1 point margin. This would be a very close election, a contested state. So then the New Mexico, for its 5 electoral votes, I believe that would go likely to Elizabeth Warren. There are a lot of Native Americans there that may not like Elizabeth Warren because of everything that she did. Whether she did any wrongdoing or not is another question, but they might not like her for that, and they make up a significant minority of the population, but she would still win it by a likely margin. Then going over here to Colorado, she is very socially liberal as well as economically liberal, obviously, and I think that Colorado, in the trends that it's had trending toward the blue column, it would go as a lean state towards Elizabeth Warren. I think going down here to Texas, Texas would be a lean state. I don't think that many of the suburban people in cities like Houston, Dallas, San Antonio would be able to max out the votes for Elizabeth Warren enough to be able to flip the state. But obviously, with the trends and everything, it would be closer than it ever has been in many years, and Elizabeth Warren would actually put up a decent showing in this state. Then going over here to Nebraska's 2nd district, this is a gerrymandered district that I haven't pointed out in earlier videos, but it's a gerrymandered district, and so I think because of that, it hasn't gone to the blue column since 2008. I think because of that, it would go to a lean column to the president. Going over here to Iowa. Iowa is the first state to go in the Democratic primaries. Elizabeth Warren is actually doing all right in the Democratic primaries, but obviously that's not the general election. Not everybody can vote in the Iowa caucuses, primaries, Iowa caucuses. And so I think because of that, it will go by a lean margin to the president, staying in his column from the flip that he gained in 2016. I think if we go down here to the south, I think that Georgia will go by a likely column. I don't think that Elizabeth Warren would be able to turn out enough of the black vote to be able to maximize her chances to win in this state. Maybe she picks a vice president nominee like Cory Booker, which is a very real possibility. She'd be able to get more black support. But I think as it stands right now, she would not get enough support from the black community in Georgia to get high turnout rates and therefore flip this state to the blue column. I'm going to put Florida as a tilt margin. I think in almost every prediction that I'm doing, it will be by a tilt margin, Florida, to either the president or a Democratic challenger. This is going to be one of the closest states of the election, as it has been for the number of elections in the past 20, 30 years. It's always been a very close state. But Florida, as I mentioned before, they love incumbents. And I think that they would turn out for the president rather than a large change to the economy like Elizabeth Warren. And then we're going to go over to North Carolina here. I think North Carolina will be by a lean margin. I don't think that the people here would like Elizabeth Warren too much, even if they don't like Donald Trump much either. I think that if they have to make a decision, they will vote for the incumbent president rather than the large-scale changes that Elizabeth Warren wants to take on. So right now we're at 241 electoral votes for the president and 203 electoral votes for Elizabeth Warren. Then we're gonna go down here to Virginia. Virginia has a lot of establishment Democrats, and they may not like Elizabeth Warren, but I still think that they will turn out enough to give Elizabeth Warren the edge with its 13 electoral votes to win it by a lean margin. Donald Trump won't put up too much of a fight here. It was more swing state in the past, but now it is trending towards the blue column with establishment Democrats. And while I said that before, they may not like Elizabeth Warren, I still think that Elizabeth Warren would be able to win the state. Going all the way up here to New Hampshire, I think New Hampshire will go by a lean margin, similar to the way Hillary Clinton won it, even though Hillary Clinton won it only by a couple thousand votes. I think that Warren would expand her lead just because Trump is very unpopular in this state. Although it's possible that this state could get closer too. I think that Maine's 2nd district will go by a lean to the president, and Maine at large will go by a likely towards Elizabeth Warren. Maine's 1st district will go out so strongly. Actually, I'm going to put Maine's 2nd district as a tilt just because of the northeastern vibe that Elizabeth Warren gives off. This could easily flip towards Elizabeth Warren as well. I think that Maine's 1st district will come out so strongly in favor of Elizabeth Warren that it'll give her this likely margin of victory in Maine at large, possibly even a safe margin for Maine at large. But I think that Donald Trump will be able to win Maine's 2nd district. And yeah, so we're going to go over here to Minnesota. I think Elizabeth Warren would win Minnesota by a lean margin. Like I've said before, Minnesota likes weird candidates like Ilhan Omar and people like that. So I think that they would like a candidate like Elizabeth Warren, and they would vote her in probably by a similar margin that Hillary Clinton got it, maybe by a bit larger of a margin because she's a bit less unpopular than Hillary Clinton. Then we're going to go over to these 4 states here. Right now we have an electoral vote total of 244 electoral votes for the president and 232 for Elizabeth Warren in this election prediction. So it comes down, as it has for many of the election predictions that I've done, to these 4 states. I guess we can start off with the one that's going to go by the largest margin, Ohio. I think Ohio will go by a lean margin. This will highlight one of the reasons why I think that Elizabeth Warren may not do so well in the Rust Belt is because she just has a lot of coastal elite feel about her. It's how a lot of people describe her. I'm not saying that's how I describe her, but many people see that in her, and I think that people in places like these would be scared by the changes that she wants to bring out to the country, and I think Donald Trump would be able to campaign on that enough to keep this in this column. And now we're going to go fill out the rest of these 3 states. I think Wisconsin would go lean, Michigan would go tilt, and Pennsylvania would go tilt. If you look at Pennsylvania here, I think Pennsylvania would actually be pretty close because it's near the Northeast. It has less of a Rust Belt feel about it in a place that I feel like Elizabeth Warren would be more unpopular. So I think that she'll be able to get Pennsylvania and Michigan, here's another tilt state, within grasp. I think that she could, if she runs a well enough campaign, maybe gets a candidate like Cory Booker as her vice president, or Kamala Harris maybe, I don't even know, she'd be able to flip these 2 states, and this would give Donald Trump the exact same result that he got in the 2016 election with 306 electoral votes to Elizabeth Warren's 232. In the 2016, the case was Hillary Clinton, but in this, I think it will be the exact same electoral result. I think that many of the states will be closer. I think that Florida will be closer, Arizona will be closer, Texas will be closer, Pennsylvania will be closer, Ohio will be closer, Michigan will be closer, Wisconsin will be closer, and this just proves to Elizabeth Warren that she can win if she can close the gap on these states in enough But it's just a question of will she be able to overcome the fact that her policies may not align with what people in the Rust Belt want. I don't know. We'll see about it. So that concludes this video. I hope you all enjoyed. This was just my opinion for the prediction. You may disagree with me. You may think that Elizabeth Warren may be able to flip these states. You may think Donald Trump may be able to get some more states. But as of right now, I think Donald Trump will be able to win these states. And I think that Elizabeth Warren would easily be able to get these states too. So it's just a matter of time to see who is the nominee and then what states they will win. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.